there's people that say that, aliens came down here and seeded humanity, and then they reference the pyramids being all over the world and how it's impossible for man to have built those pyramids, and the paintings in the caves. There's a popular show called Ancient Alien, and they say that it's pretty much an alien type deception thing where it's saying that aliens created humanity and that Jesus Christ was an alien, and that the gods of the universe is the God in the Bible. How would you counter that argument?
Okay, first I would say it is flat stupid. I don't believe it at all. Okay, it's dumb. They're starting with the assumption that modern man is smart and ancient man was dumb, and we are improving and evolving from cavemen to modern man, which is the false assumption. If the people originally created were living to be 900 years old, how much could you learn, and how much could you pass on to your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren who you get to meet personally? Plus, Adam came straight from the hand of God, pre-programmed. I mean, he could walk, talk, name the animals, and get married first day. So he was incredibly intelligent to start with. So what all did they know? I don't know. Probably a lot. We may have lost a lot of technology with the flood and the shorter lifespans. There's a whole lot of knowledge has gone to the grave because people, they die before they can get it passed on or get it to work.
Right.
So I think the pyramids are just an example of somebody who knew something that we might not even know today. Maybe they used sound waves as an energy source to lift them. Maybe they used the magnetic field to lift those stones. I don't know. But I know there are loads of legends of some really smart people in recorded history. The Peruvians, the island, the big statues on the Easter Island. There is loads of evidence of some highly advanced civilizations in the past that I think fit fine into the Bible. People getting off the Noah's Ark, according to Genesis 11, Shem lived to be 600. He lived 500 years after the flood. He lived 100 years before the flood, so he would have known a whole lot of things that he could have passed on to his kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. Shem lived long enough to meet Abraham, if you chart it out from the dates in the Bible. So I cover in my seminar number 7, question-answer, the 4 options on the pyramid. A, it was built by somebody godly before the flood as a symbol or a testimony. B, it was built by somebody ungodly before the flood, just as a pagan building. C, it was built by somebody godly after the flood as a testimony to the Lord, kind of a Bible in stone. And D, it was built by somebody ungodly just as a pagan building, etc. I don't know which it is. I suspect it was not built during the flood. So it'd be either before or after. Probably before the flood. What would a flood do to a pyramid other than just get it wet? I mean, it's not going to do anything. It's really not. It's not going to change anything. So I think probably it was pre-flood and survived the flood, and afterwards people said, "Wow, that's cool. I want to be buried in one of those." So they made up. They made their own smaller versions of it. It's true pyramids are found all over the world, generally at roughly the same latitude. So what does that mean? It doesn't prove anything about aliens. It proved people thought that was cool and they wanted to build a pyramid.
Yeah. That's a very simple, common sense type of answer. I laugh because they love science fiction stories, you know what I mean?
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
Now, there's a guy built a wooden pyramid in St. Louis area, and not in Missouri, and had it for some kind of Christian camp or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I could go build one. I could go build one if I wanted.
Yeah, it's just cool. So, all right.
Yeah.
That was great. Does the waters and the firmament, the canopy theory, explain 6-foot dragon fossils?
I think it does, and I don't think it was water necessarily. I think it was probably ice. The Jews have taught for millennia that it was 3 fingers thick, a layer of ice above the atmosphere, which would be, say, 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches or 3 inches of ice would weigh about 15 pounds per square foot. So you'd only have to increase air pressure to about 1.1 atmospheres. Today it's about 14.7 psi at sea level, so if you increased it to, say, 15 or 16 psi, you could easily float ice above the atmosphere like a big inflatable building, like the Minnesota Vikings football dome. Just air pressure holds it up. So that would just be a theory. Whatever was up there is gone. But 2 or 3 inches of ice would certainly increase the air pressure, squeezing all the air down into, say, 10 miles instead of 60, making it much more clear, seeing the stars much more clearly, because you don't get atmospheric distortion, or what's called atmospheric twinkle. That's why the stars, twinkle. Well, if the air was compressed and a nice clear lens over the top, Adam and Eve could see everything even more clearly. Carl Baugh has great stuff on the canopy. If you go to creationevidence.org, I think his website, Carl Baugh, B-A-U-G-H, in Glen Rose, Texas. But check out his stuff, research he's done on the canopy. Now, there are some creationist organizations that do not believe there was a canopy, and they teach against the canopy. Well, it's very simple. They are wrong, and I am right. There was a canopy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to, as far as the pyramids, I mean, the Egyptians had slaves. I mean, they had a lot of slaves. I mean, if you have a lot of manpower, you can accomplish a lot of stuff. So here we go. Do you think God has a reason for giving? Do you think God has?
One more thought on the pyramid.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Hang on. One more thought on the pyramid. Ron Wyatt, who died in '99, was a good friend of mine. He discovered Noah's Ark and the Ark of the Covenant. He also discovered how they built the pyramids, the pyramid machines. There were 2 people could raise those big stones. And so if you go to his website, Wyatt, W-Y-A-T-T, WyattMuseum.com, you can see the pyramid building machines. They did not have big ramps or rollers and all that stuff. It was really a slick system. 2 people could lift it. But anyway, okay, so go ahead.
Okay. Do you think God has a reason for giving certain animals more babies in a litter than others?
Yes, it seems to me those that are the prey instead of the predators have more babies, the ones that are more likely to get eaten.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes will have hundreds of babies, okay, and most of them get eaten by the frogs. They're a food source. I think possibly insects would maybe not even be considered living in the biblical definition. They're just a complicated, self-replicating food source. Mm-hmm. Is one way to look at it. I don't know that that's true, but that's an option. So rabbits will have a lot of babies, and foxes only have a few, and the foxes eat the rabbits. So that seems to be some kind of balance of nature there. The predators produce a few, the prey produce a bunch, and everybody seems happy except the ones that get eaten.
What would you say? What would you say about dogs? If we're talking about like wolves, for example. Does it go along the same lines?
Did you say dogs?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Dogs?
Yeah, wolves.
Yeah, dogs. Wolves and dogs can produce a litter of puppies. I don't know what the average is. If you look at like fish, they may lay thousands of eggs, or shrimp, or.
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
If you look at like pine trees, they'll produce how many seeds in 1 year? Like tens of thousands, and so that's an interesting balance of nature. The food source type plants, they have to produce a whole lot because a bunch of them are going to get eaten. Like the oak tree produces how many acorns, tens of thousands on a big oak tree, and most of them get eaten by the squirrels. That's all you got to get is 1 or 2 to land in the dirt and grow, and oak forest continues. So that's all a biology question, really, and a balance of nature. I don't think it would have anything to do with the creation evolution argument, other than it's amazingly designed and looks to me like a creator designed it all.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.